Fantastic. I'll start once we're all seated. Guys, I just want to ask you, when you first became acquainted with Thor before this movie, were you aware of it at all?
Well, I was as a kid growing up in Belfast. I remember seeing this very colourful, very dynamic comic with actually some of the kinds of framing, some of the kind of dynamism in the way we tried to put the pictures together in the movie. And I remember being very struck by how colourful, vivid and massive it was. The first picture I ever saw of Thor, we never did this in the movie, but it would have been you too, which was Thor's arms yoked around a tree trunk with his arms thicker than the tree trunk, and you behind in the classic pose on the throne with Gungnir. So
my arms weren't big enough.
Yeah. Next time in the gym,
yeah. And Chris, when did you first become
it was pretty much when I got the part 6 months before and received a stack of comic books. I knew vaguely a little bit about the character. I wasn't even sure where from. I probably knew more about the Viking Norse mythology sort of section of it all. But yeah, well, as I said, when I got the part, it was about educating myself and going through the books.
Okay, and Tom?
Well, I actually, as a child, I had a deck of Marvel top trumps. You can get top trumps with like racing cars or fighter planes or football players, and I had all of the Marvel superheroes and all the supervillains in a deck, and I used to play it with my friends. So literally every character you can think of, they were all listed according to their height and weight and agility and their superpowers, and Thor and Loki were in there. So that was my memory.
How did Loki fare in top trumps?
Yeah,
what
he was
his
good.
Scores?
He would always lose if it was about strength and weight. But if you picked agility and intelligence and strangely superpowers, he'd have the edge.
Fantastic. And there's this great relationship in the movie between Thor and Loki. How important was it for you to nail that? Obviously, there's lots of action and explosions in the movie and whatnot, but to nail that cycle, that core, that relationship.
We felt that in terms of the approach was sort of threefold. It was to definitely be on contemporary Earth, to bring the story to Earth, to bring humour to the story, and then to both create characters and then cast it with a kind of detail in the characterizations and in the execution of them that was as real as we could be. It's a relative reality in a comic book movie, but I think what works very well is when the boys who've done wonderful jobs in it, I think, catch your breath by the intensity with which they feel things. So when you were rehearsing with the two of them and Tony Hopkins and talking about that dynamic between two rivalsome boys and a father who is demanding, and you've got some scenes that can take the intensity and passion that can spring from some of those challenges, it felt as though that would be part of what distinguished the film, made it a little different, is that we could in the drama of Asgard go quite a long way, but it depended on who we cast and how they did it, and they both did a fantastic job.